Hi, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Hello. Yes, you are audible.
Shall we start, sir?
Yes, we shall start.
Okay, sir. So, fellow participants, good evening all. Thanks for joining this webinar. I request all the participants to watch the full session. The feedback form link for certificates will be given in the chat box few minutes before the end of the webinar. Fill the feedback form carefully. Now, let me introduce the speaker for today's webinar, Dr.V.L.Jayapaul, Assistant Professor of English, St. Joseph's College, Trichy, Tamil Nadu. He is an eminent soft skill trainer who has trained many teachers and students in various colleges and universities. He has completed his doctorate and he focuses on counseling as a main part. He is a multi-talented personality who also serves people as a physiotherapist. And I'm happy to welcome him for today's session. I welcome you, sir. Thanks for spending your valuable time with us. And I also all the participants, those who joined from various states over the country. Now, let me give the session to Jayapaul. Over to Dr. Jayapaul. Yeah, you may continue now, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Blesswin. Dear participants, I am very happy to do this webinar. The title of this webinar is Optimistic Approach to it is really going to be a sharing. It is not going to be a lecture like books or other things. It is completely about sharing of my experience along with which I have gained through my experiences. Now, let me share the. Yes. So the title goes like this: Optimistic Approach to Human Excellence. Okay. Now, we all know why is it so important right now to have this sort of topic, right? Optimistic approach to human excellence. Because today it is very hard for us to excel or bring out our excellence. And that too, we find it very difficult to bring it in an optimistic way or look into things in a very positive way. So, why do we need exactly? Because we are most of the students and also they find it very difficult to face failures, disappointments, and frustrations, and they are unable to bring out their excellence. So that's why the organizer and myself thought that this would be an apt title for us to just share a few experiences or tips on how we can excel. Okay, that bring out the excellence. Now, so the difficult thing is to approach failures and disappointments and frustrations. So naturally, what we have to do is how we can approach these things in an optimistic way and become very successful or bring out the talents completely out. Now, how? By being optimistic. Many people think that, sir, we know what is optimistic, and many of us, we know it is positive side of life, looking things like the good, okay, for the future, all those things are there. But still, we are unable to be very optimistic. Why? Can you just find out what is really being optimistic, being hopeful, and emphasizing the good part of a situation rather than the bad part? The next is the belief that good things will happen in the future. So now, friends, we have to believe. Okay. So we have heard all these things earlier, but then why again and again we wanted to talk about this optimism? It is, let us take just an example of this great inventor, Thomas Alva Edison, who invented electric bulb. Okay, now we have to learn. What shall we learn from this great personality, an inventor? Two things, in my view. Try again in different ways and approach everything in an optimistic way. His approach is really optimistic, How could we see that? Because he had an interview with the person, and the interviewer asked him, "Sir, you have crossed so many failures in your life. It is said 999 times you have failed in your experiments, and only one time you have succeeded to invent this electric bulb." And the interviewer's approach was completely pessimistic. He says, 990 times you have failed, and what do you want to say about that? And Thomas Alva Edison, he replies, in a very wonderful way, he says, "I have learned how not to have combinations of 999 times to not bring out this electric bulb. I have learned," he says. The approach of the interviewer was a failure. He sees all those attempts, are failures. But Thomas Alva Edison, in a different way, he says, "I have learned from these experiments how not to make an electric bulb." See, that is what we have to learn. And that is very optimistic. Same way, we also must think in an optimistic way. But it is very difficult. It is not an easy job to say being optimistic is very convenient. It is very difficult. It is very difficult. But then, day by day, we can really try to understand how can we change this attitude being optimistic. Because we all show some sort of behavior in different situations. Now, as I told you, it is on the screen in different ways. Okay, see, Thomas Alva Edison has tried in 999 times in different ways. Most of us, we do things again and again, expect different results, where we will not get any different results at all because we do the same thing again and again. And we say we tried again and again. One thing we have to learn, to be positive or optimistic, try again and again in a different way, as this inventor has done. So that is optimistic. Okay. On another part, the people, the observers, the people, those who watch us, they say, "Sir, you have failed." It is not at all a failure. So keep this in mind as a mantra and try to do things again in different ways so that we will be bringing out our excellence. See, ultimately what we have to understand is the excellence of this great inventor came out because he tried in different ways. Next one is the optimistic way in which he looked, whatever he did. Others might have looked in a different way that he has failed, but in his perspective, it is learning. That is optimistic. So the result is naturally success. The time taken to achieve success, might be different from each individual. That is there. The only one thing that we have to keep in our mind is we will succeed if we are optimistic. I can share my experiences, a lot of experiences where I have achieved a lot by having this pessimistic or avoiding this pessimistic attitude or things in my mind, being optimistic solidly and wait for some time if I was unable to achieve in a particular time. So I used to give time for achieving. So that is the thing that we have to keep in our mind. Now, why so much of these things are talked? Because the world around us give us so many experiences. Okay, a stressful condition or the people, those who are around us. So they give a lot of information directly, indirectly, and also they give or dominate or influence us to do things in whichever way in which we wanted exactly to do that are around us. Maybe because of the competition. Okay, because of the competition, we are unable to do what we want to do exactly. And we see corruption. And sometimes, we are compelled to do many things. Most of us, we hear about bribing and your film, The Vengeance, Prejudice. Okay, all these negativity are repeated, heard, experienced around us. So what naturally happens, our mind, our psyche, naturally is influenced by all these things. And we are unable to be very optimistic, look into positive things of life. In my opinion, God has gifted us with this, but we are unable to bring out those talents because of all this pessimism. Okay, pessimistic things, negative vibes, all these, they influence. Now, only one thing we have to keep in mind. Basically, we are good. I wanted to include myself because I don't want to be a person, somebody who is different from everybody. No, I'm also a common man. I also gained so many things in this world. I have experienced so many negatives. I feel this so many times. But then we have to understand we are good. That is, you are basically good. How do I say that? Normally in my class, I used to show half a tumbler of water and ask students, what is in this tumbler? And everybody, without any differences, they say, it is a half a tumbler of water. My goodness, I say we are all very good. Basically, we are all very good. We don't believe it. When I ask, are you a good boy? Sometimes, some students, they say, no, sir, I'm not. I'm not good. Because we are unable to accept even our own good things. In such a way, these pessimistic vibes have influenced us. So what we have to learn or understand or believe is, basically, I am good. We are good. Everyone is good. Basically, everyone is good. So most of the thing that we share, in networks, in FB, WhatsApp, and updates and games, everything, they have to bring only positive vibes in us. But we are influenced by the things that are negative in those social networks. So we are unable to think. We are influenced by others' thoughts. So what we have to do, if we want to be really successful, bring out our excellence, we have to think on our own. But these things are, they don't allow us to think in a positive way. So one more thing is there, the thing that doesn't allow us to use our time also. These things, FB, WhatsApp and games, online games and everything, they take our time. So naturally when other people, other equipments, other gadgets, other engagements, other whatever it is, when they influence us, they take time, we are unable to think in a very positive way. The influences from that sources, they control us. And we are unable to make money. We are unable to put our efforts. We are unable to take care of our own health. So we have to be very careful. If we want to be very successful, to bring out our excellence, okay, we need to be very careful to use our time for our own selves. And what do they make us? We are unable to be free. We say, I want freedom. But these things, they enslave us. And we become slaves to all these things. So what we have to do, we have to come out of all these networks and spend some time on our own growth, our own self. Okay, that's very important. So all these things are there in the world. Okay, competition, corruption, bribing, vengeance, everything. I've listed 12 on the screen. Highlight immoral activities as moral even. And nowadays, I cannot speak about morality because it has become a part of our culture and it is very difficult for us to understand what is going on. So all these are influences which we have, and they are pessimistic. So we are unable to bring out or come out with our own optimistic views, and we are unable to, the result is we are unable to be very successful. And my students sometimes know, they ask, it is very difficult, sir, how to be, when I listen to you, I can understand that I must be positive and I can be positive. After some time, the spirit goes down. Why? Because many people around us are with pessimistic vibrations. That influences. So we need to be very careful to understand that the world around us is like this. Now, as students, some of us, or as individuals, whoever it might be, an entrepreneur, a professor, or a teacher, or any individual, okay, we think about our parents. How do we think about our parents? And what do they do actually? We have in our mind, they order, they command, they advise. And some people from rural areas, they say, my parents know, they are uneducated. They don't know, they are ignorant. And a few female students know, they say they are doubting, they are suspecting me. Okay, and we say, my parents are having high expectations. It is impossible for me to achieve. All these are the negative things that we create about our parents, about their thoughts. And see, some parents know, they strongly trust on their children that they will do this. And children, as a child, as a son or a daughter, we think in a different way about our parents. And what happens? Naturally, detachment also is there. Okay, we are trying to hide so many things which happens or which come across our day-to-day life. We don't talk to them. And as I told you, network and the gadgets that we use, and they dominate us a lot. So we have an opinion, or we have opinions about our parents, what do they do and how do they pester us or how do they control us. So now you have to think in a different way. See, the choice is ours. Okay, why do they do these things, only to make us good, to become better? But we don't think that one. We are influenced by our friends' comments. See, my parents, they don't care about anything about my time spending with you all, spending money and all those things. But we have to be very careful when our parents, they say, they control, they order or anything like that. It is for our good. They have much more or many experiences, and that experiences with they speak, will be definitely useful for us. You have to take in that way. We are unable to take these things because we think their experience in their age is different from our experience at present. This is the gap that we have between our parents and our own kids, right? Our own generation. Now, not only parents, we talk about our own teachers, our own relatives, and we speak about society. How is the society? And very important is, how are our friends? What do our friends do? Now, let us take for example, when your friends say something, we respect that, we accept it, and we go along with it. But when our teachers or our parents or elders, when they say, we say no to that. This attitude, okay, must be changed. All these things are only to bring our own excellence outside. when we are in the group, when we are with our friends, we are unable to do that because our friends, they encourage in a different way. They are not productive actually. They are unable to come out with creative ideas. All collective ideas. One more thing, always remember, it is not for all. It is not for all. But most of them are like that. That is why we are unable to find students excelling in their academics or even coming out with their own skills. In a class of 50, we could see hardly 5 students coming out or bringing out their excellence, their talents. They are able to cope up with the situations outside, and they're able to look at things in a positive way, in an optimistic way. But others, almost 80 to 85%, students are unable to bring out because they look everything very negative in so many ways. Okay, not only with friends, even when they look at teachers, when they listen to teachers, they have their own prejudice, and that bring down your excellence, or that closes your excellence, that blocks your excellence to come out. So what we have to do is look at things in a different way. So societies that the comprises of teachers, relatives, society, friends, and everybody, all they come under one roof to make us very, very negative in our thoughts, deeds, and the style in which we respond to situations. Most of us, we don't respond, we react to situations. And I can talk about or share more ideas on how can we respond to situations. So that is to be a very good personality in a place. Okay, as a manager, as a student, as a teacher, how to respond to different situations, because we react most of the time. And reacting is a pessimistic way of responding to situations. Okay, when we wanted to just put things right, we have to respond to the situations, not react. Okay, it depends on the place, people, and the situation where you are put in, right? So all these influences are there, but then we must just take the point from the great inventor, do things again and again in a different way to invent something, come or bring out your excellence. That is the optimistic way. You can learn. Okay. And also one more thing, I used to share with my friends. I say, students, you have to participate. Participation is winning. It is not getting the first place in a running race is winning. So keep track on your participation in the events that comes on your way. Because so many students in the school level, they participate. When they grow up, they find it very difficult. In front of others, they don't want to look at them as a participant alone. That is failure. They wanted to win. When I participate, I should win. You should not keep this sort of a strong thought on your mind. Okay, this thought will definitely pull you down. So what you have to keep in your mind is participate. And after participation, definitely you will feel you are better than many people. I used to share a few experiences of mine in the staff race. Okay. There are more than 300 staff members in the institution, but only 12 or 18 members participate. After participating, even if you are the last, you feel really you are better than those 300 people, those who did not participate. Because I have participated. Others did not participate. This must be your approach to bring out your excellence. Because others, they say, no, I can't do it. I will not be able to run very fast. I will definitely fail. I will come only last. But the approach that we should have is, let me participate, whatever it is. The rest of the people are just spectators. I am a participant. That is real success. This sort of approach is very, very important. This is what is called optimistic approach. I'll participate and I'll feel better. And if you wanted to really bring out your excellence, try to use all the opportunities that comes on your way, right? And how am I? How is my attitude? Nowadays, students, they think, I have everything, sir. I have everything. But I don't know to do that, do this. I don't do that. I can't. All these things are follow, right? Some things I know, but I am unable to practice. See, a small gadget, a mobile phone, a student has, and he thinks, I have everything in my hand and I know everything. Just because having or possessing a cell phone, your thought, your attitude is like that. You have everything and you know everything. And some students, those who don't have it, if I have this, sir, I want this. If I have this, then I am really great. See, these approaches will never bring your excellence out. Okay, your talents out, your skills out. Naturally, what your attitude will be, I know English, but I don't speak. I have mobile phone, I have PDF files, books, everything, but I don't read. What's the use of it? So the attitude that we project, is with these small equipments and the attitude that we have in our mind. I have everything. I know everything. And some people, I can do many things, but I don't do. What is the use of it? So naturally, when you try to bring out when you want to bring out your real talents, whatever talents you have, use it. Whatever you have, present it. See, some postponed things. Even in one of the lectures recently, I said procrastination is very, very bad and you have to overcome it. I will do those things when I become like that, when I get that. These attitudes are very, very bad, because when you try to project or bring out your talents, you have to bring it immediately. You should not postpone. Then next one, I'll be like that, which means you have some image, I'll be like that when I become. It is impossible for you to become like that. It will take time. So what you have to do is, day by day, become better. And you think that you are becoming better. And definitely, in my own experience, I could say, day by day, I become better. And I'm not an expert in anything. I try to become expert. Day by day, I should try. I commit mistakes. I know I commit mistakes, but then those mistakes are not failures. Those things are attempts where I can my own mistakes and become better day by day. Many people, they think, sir, you have become a professor, so your status is different. Whatever you do is not counted. No, it is not like that. It is counted. The attitude that we should have is, okay, if I commit today mistake, next time I should not commit that. Okay, I'm a human. Every human being is tend to commit mistakes. To err is human, they say. It is said. So we have to accept that we commit mistakes. The approach is, next time when I try to do that, I should not commit mistake. Okay. So we should not put any condition on our own attitude. If I get that, if I have it, I have everything, I want to do this, all those things. Sometimes, we try to pose questions. Do you have those talents? Are you aware of the competitors? All these things will influence in a very negative way. So this is what is our attitude towards the situations, people, and in every place. Okay, in every place. And we have so many thoughts like some students, they come and say, why should I follow him, sir? I'm an individual. I have my own individuality. I don't have a role model. You must have a role model. And a few students, they say, my father is my role model. That's really great because they see the person very near, facing so many situations, and they really excel. They bring out their excellence. So what you have to keep in your mind is some of us, we have this sort of question. Why should I follow him? Why should I do that? Why should I? Then what you should do? You should do something productive, or you should bring something from your own talents, from your own caliber. You have to do something different, achieve something great. So what you have to do is put away these questions. These are pessimistic questions which comes to our mind at times. Not for all, not for all. For a few of you might be, even for me sometimes. So we should think about all these things and try to be very optimistic. Why should he or order, advise, command, and help is another thing. Why should I follow him? Why should I obey him? Most of the time we find it very difficult today. When you speak about the word obey, obedience, most of the students, they say, I use only the letters, yours obediently. And that too, students find it very difficult to use that. To tell you the truth, obedience has taken another synonym nowadays. If you see a person obeying, another student comments in a different way. He doesn't say, hey, he's an obedient student. No, he's a slave to that man. Okay. A parent commands or advises, okay, or just suggests or order something to the daughter or the son. The son, one who just obeys, is watched by another friend and say, hey, why do you behave like a slave to your parents? Are you a slave to your parents? Immediately that student or the person will think about, oh, am I a slave? I should not behave like a slave. I am not a slave. So hereafter I should not obey. So obedience, this word has taken another form. And this is a very pessimistic attitude towards obedience, saying that are you a slave? Friends, you have to keep this in your mind. You have to obey not only your parents, your teachers and elders. And it is very difficult for us nowadays. Sir, why should I obey? I have everything. As I told you in the previous slide, we know everything. I have everything. I can do this. If I come to that situation, I can do this. No. Anytime, anywhere, you have to obey your parents. Obedience, nowadays, it has become a question mark for students. They don't use this word. They put it another way, as a slave. Now, what is the benefit, profit for him if I follow his or her words? Another attitude we have when someone speaks, as a teacher I say, students, you have to do this. First one, why should I follow this, or why should I accept this words? Okay, like that we have in our mind. Second one is, what is the profit for him? Why this man says all these to us? I think he profits something else because of this. If I follow his advice, or if I follow this, if I do whatever he instructs, he gains something. This is another attitude. So this attitude is very bad. This is negative. And this also will definitely pull down us. It will restrict us to bring our excellence. And another thing, who is she or he to instruct me? This is also another attitude. There are so many people. There are so many friends. Who is this man? Who is that man? Who is this boss? Okay, who is this junior to instruct me? If it is good, try to understand. If it is good, Keep silence and try to observe what is good in that and try to follow it. Whether senior or junior, or your boss, or your parents, or your teachers, elders, anybody, think about what is good in it and try to follow it. Don't think who says, what is the benefit for him. No. Please understand, all these optimistic approaches definitely bring our excellence. Excellence in the sense, it is not the good things that we have, it is the power that we have. Okay, the efficiency that we have will come out. It is difficult. It is difficult because, as I told you in the beginning, so many things around us in this world are pessimistic. Okay, the vibes are completely pessimistic. So many things. So I just watched a video, WhatsApp forwarded video, which says Swamiji speaks. Okay, he says about his experiences with Abdul Kalam, a former president. He was asking a question to Abdul Kalam, how that you are able to be very happy all the time at this age? And the answer was, I think of what I can give to whomever he sees, Abdul Kalam's mind was, what can I give for these people, this person? So that attitude, for giving, what can I give for this person? It is really great. I really admired that conversation between those two people, that Swamiji and Abdul Kalam. Really, our happiness is doubled, or we can raise our happiness by giving. It is really true, but it's very difficult because when we see a person, immediately that doesn't come to our mind. Our mind comes, why should I come? Why should I follow this person? Why should I obey this person? What is going to benefit him? When these things preoccupy, definitely our approach will be pessimistic. All these are pessimistic thoughts. So what we have to follow? Great people and try to adopt those ideologies in which they have succeeded in their life. So keep this in mind, what to give. So because of the world around us, we are built with such a lot of attitudes and characteristics, habits, and with simple optimistic thoughts, we can definitely bring out excellence from our own selves and people, those who are around us. And the negative thoughts about our own self is also influencing us. How is my attitude? It is impossible for me. And one more thing I want to just share here is, all are really gifted with all the talents. Only one thing, we don't use them. We don't bring out. We don't try to bring out. Our situation doesn't allow situations, they don't allow us to bring out our talents. So what we say, it is impossible for me. It is impossible here in my place. If I were there in another place, I would have excelled. This is our attitude. Please throw away all this. It is impossible with my parents. It is impossible with my friends, college, relatives, religion, subject. If I had taken another subject, I would have excelled. People think all these are impossible because of what is right now around me or not favorable. Friends, you cannot change anything around you. Keep this in your mind. Write it, because your friends are friends. Your parents are parents. The place around you, whether it is urban or rural, it is the same. Only thing is how you are going to use or see those things, that is very important. Even I used to say, while I was studying, I am studying in this particular school. I think if I get chance in studying in another school, better in a city, metropolitan city, I'll be great. And I learned that my thoughts were very bad only later, because you cannot change. It is not under our control, but our thoughts, that the process of thinking, is in our control. We can make it. We can make it. Only one thing we should keep in our mind: how can we achieve it, and how long it will take. That solid calculation must be there. You give time for getting things done, you can achieve. So we should not say it is impossible with my relative, religion, subject, teachers, village, state, country, even the world. These approaches will definitely bring negativity and frustrations, disappointments. So what we have to do is try to be very responsible. Who is responsible for this? Who has to take responsibility? Is that our parents, teachers, elders? For our bringing out, or to bring our talents out? No. It is our own self. We have to take responsibility. Each individual, each one of you, one of us, okay, for our own self, we have to take responsibility. Now, can we change our parents, friends, relatives, teachers? No. At least as we can change ourselves. In what way? What for? In an optimistic way. What for? To bring out the excellence. Simple. There are so many examples. You might have all heard about it, but to put it in practice, we find it very difficult. I see people, those who memorize so many things, but unable to follow or take it into their life and practice it. And that's why they say, preach what you practice, or practice what you preach. It is very difficult. It is easy to preach, but it is very hard to practice. So no need to memorize many things or learn a lot of things on these aspects. Just learn one or two and try to practice it. Try to understand it in a very different way and put it in your life as a habit or a lifestyle that will bring you definitely success. Okay, now we shall think about in what way taking responsibility to use available human resources in our own self. See, human being as an individual has a lot of resources. We have a lot of resources. We have to use the available resources. The physical appearance is the resource. Okay, the physical appearance, the abilities that we have are resources. So when we try to use them, that will bring success. And some are very possessive, very selfish. We don't share. Friends, kindly share what you have learned and experienced. It is an optimistic approach where you will bring out your excellence in various ways. Most of very few students are there. They try and they say, no, I should not share all these things because I have gained all these things by burning the midnight oil. So I should not share all these things. Friends, I assure you, if you share, you will be able to reproduce a lot. You can create a lot. You can create more. You can create new things. So share what you have learned and experienced. And try to bring out your skills. Expose. Just to show that you have skills. Many people, they have skills, but they don't show. and their life ends like that without even bringing out that the sort of skill was there in that particular man or a person. So what we need to do is train certain skills that we need and also that we have. We have to train our skills. What is training? We have to do it again and again. Repeat it. When you do it again and again, you will become better. You will become experts. Then naturally you will be called as an expert in that field. So practice. Do it again. Next one is we have to take all these responsibilities to enhance our skills. Okay. Not only for our own satisfaction, it is to help others. When someone talks to you, he or she will also learn. So in a way, you are going to help another person. So complete responsibility is in the individual. You may think, sir, we all know this, but it is very hard for us to practice. Try to have good friends. Share these things frequently. Share with your parents what you did, how you did, or in what way you have tried it. When you share with your siblings, with your friends, with your relatives, definitely you will be a person with optimistic attitude or optimistic approach to situations. Most of us, we find it very difficult to do that. Let me share one experience. When one of my students, he asked me, sir, how can I control this, what do you call, anger? He was very reluctant to control his anger because things around him, made him anger very fast. So he wanted to control anger. Most of the time, his friends used to say, you are becoming a very short-tempered person, man. For simple things, you are getting anger. And I said, actually, in a casual talk, I was able to share that, see, when a person creates an anger, okay, that is, when he creates anger, you try to put yourself on that particular person. Sir, how is that? He asked me. How is that I can put myself on his place and think about that situation? I said, you might be right in that particular place, but then he might have experienced something very bad before he has or she has a conversation with you at that time. So I said, when somebody is angry with you, speaking out hard words, okay, hard words in the sense scolding you in front of others, just keep calm and think that he has some other problem in his family or on the way to his work or somewhere in his office or somewhere. And he kept in this in his mind and he went. Actually, he was waiting for a bus. And he went into the bus stand and one or two buses with the same name board was there in the bus stand. This student wants to move from that bus stand to that place, his native place actually. He went to the conductor who was available in a bus, was standing near the bus actually. This student wants to reach his hometown. And he wants to find out which bus starts first from the bus stand and which is the cheapest one to travel. So you ask the conductor, hello sir, which bus will move first? And the conductor said, that bus. Next question this fellow started to ask, continued to ask, what is the cost of the ticket to reach that place in that bus? He answered the amount. Then this person, that is my student's question was for the next bus. He started to ask, this second bus, when does this move? and he got irritated and he started to scold. And this man tried to continue. Sir, I wanted to know the fare of this bus also. He got irritated and said, can't you move from this place? Am I the only person to answer you only? I have lots of, come and move. He started to pour out his anger. Immediately, this gentleman started to think, Ayo, I think he has some other problem somewhere else. He is not ready to respond to my questions. He started reacting. I feel pity for him because he has some other problem. And he was able to keep that calmness and have this thought coming in front at first in that particular situation. Normally, this student reacts in a very different way in such situations. As a conductor, you must answer all my questions. That is a duty of yours. This will be the response or reaction in the previous situations. But in that situation, he was able to say, oh, sorry, sir. Let me ask somebody else. So keep calm. He went away. He was able to achieve something great, calm in his mind, and also a sense of satisfaction that I have not disturbed him too much. Okay, because each individual's expectation is different from other. So naturally, what happens is we try to do things that we wanted to achieve in the time we wanted. Okay, that is what is our idea. But what happens that irritates people, and we bring out our different skills outside, and we are unable to bring out our real skills which are wanted or which are pleasant to others or to the society. So better keep in your mind the responsibility in our own self. So take responsibility. Don't blame others, the situation, the people, the institutions. Don't blame. Try to put a positive note on that and say, yes, in this way, if I do or I respond to these situations, it will be better than what I think in another way. It will not hurt. So try to do all these things to bring out your excellence. These are the optimistic approaches. And we can also continue to say it is to strengthen each other. It is not one side. If I say, if I become like that, if I am very optimistic, it is only good for him. It is not for me. No, it strengthens everybody. And you can lift yourself to a next level, and you can lift others too. And it becomes a motivating factor. It strengthens our positive attitude skills and to develop ourselves to be happy and wealthy. Friends, we need to be very positive. We need to have approaches very optimistically to every situation, every person, and also every level, at every level, right? As a boss, you must have. As a worker, employee, as a student, as a teacher, as a parent, as a daughter, son, okay, as a sibling, you must have in all the situations with all the people at all levels, the optimistic approach. Only then we'll be able to bring out all the excellence in us. Okay, are we doing the above work? Are we doing it? We occasionally do with our friends, but the results are not bringing out our excellence. They may not bring positive things as results. Think it should be a healthy activity that you do, which might strengthen others, help your own self to bring your own skills, and help others develop their happiness and wealth. Now, there are certain things to overcome pessimistic views or pessimism in your mind. Do relaxation exercises. meditation, physical exercises, anything that you like. I cannot say, or I should not say, and it is not possible for everybody to do meditation and bring out your optimism. No, it is not for all to do physical exercise. No, for some, you might be very comfortable with doing meditation and overcome your pessimism. For some, it is physical work. You do some physical exercise and bring out your optimistic ways. Have good friends. Good friends, those who point out or see things in the very optimistic way, right? Without hurting anybody. Those who believe in God, surrender everything to God. Those who don't believe, those who are atheist, leave it for some time and you will be able to achieve something great. Everything will come down to your way and you will face your success. You will bring out your excellence. Be in a group. Most of the extroverts, they are in the groups. Introverts, they want to be alone. Nothing wrong, nothing wrong. It is based on your quality of time, your quality of being good. If you want to be alone, be happy, be alone, be good. Most of us, we are alone and we are very sad. That should not happen. Even when you are alone, you should be happy. Be in a group. Those who are extroverts, be in a group and be happy. You bring out optimism. You can overcome pessimism. Do what you love. Most of us, we are unable to do what we love. We do what others love, and we think that if we do what others love, we will be loud. These are the thoughts that we have in our mind. So kindly keep all these things in your mind and try to be very happy by doing what you love. And as I told you earlier, share with others. Sharing is very, very important. Sharing your time, sharing your money, sharing your space, sharing your thoughts, sharing your experiences. So there are people to listen. Try to find out some of them and try to share. You can definitely overcome pessimism. Your approach will be definitely optimistic. And when your approaches are optimistic, naturally success will come on your way. Right? So, I have a few things, factors influencing our thoughts, perspectives, or previous experiences with the superiors. All these things will bring fear. So, try to have perspectives and the experiences very pleasant with people, those who are with you. Okay, naturally, we have to live with people, those who are with us. In an institution, your boss, the employees, the teachers, the students, everybody. Other than that, in your house, your family members. When you are with your friends, your friends. So try to have very positive experiences with people and avoid fear. So these things, will give you very good high self-esteem, and you will become really great personalities by overcoming anger, okay, or feeling too much about your mistakes. All these things can be get rid of, okay, by becoming optimistic or with your optimistic approach. So I think, dear friends, you'll be able to really achieve great things, and it was nice sharing with you. Let me, yeah. At the end, I would like to thank Mr. Blesswin and I right now. Okay. Mr. Blesswin, you can just come out with your questions if you have any, along with your participants. It is not audible. Excuse me, Blesswin, it is not audible.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Sir, for time concerned, I would like to conclude here, and I will tell you the questions in next time, sir, that we can have a separate video session about the question answers, sir. So many have replied the questions. Many have asked the questions about optimistic. So let us have a separate section. Is it okay, sir?
Yes, yes, okay. Thank you for the opportunity once again. Thank you, participants,
Thank you, sir.
for actively participating or watching this video, watching this webinar online. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your wonderful sharing. You shared your own experience and your students' experience, and also the very famous personalities like Edison's his experience, and make us clear understanding of being optimistic. So you said how the world is and how we should be in this world. So really a wonderful session, sir. Thank you so much. Thanks for spending your time with us. And I thank all the participants who joined in this webinar, and subscribe the channel and connect with us so that you can get many more future videos links through this channel. And the feedback form is given in the chat box. Kindly fill it carefully. And as I said earlier, if you have any questions or queries, kindly send them to the mail ID in the which will be displayed in the screen right now. So a follow-up video of this webinar will be uploaded in this channel, and that link will be sent to your respective mail ID, which you give it in your feedback form. So and many of you asked about the PPTs. So I will definitely speak with sir. If he allows me to share the PPT, I will send it to your mail ID. And thank you all. Thanks for participating. Let's all meet in another webinar. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Welcome.